right. So at this double roundabout system, my intention is to cross the second exit. Mirror. Position's already set. Watching the speed off now. Planning to stop again. Looking to go. Waiting for those guys to give way to us, just in case they don't. We're crossing the roundabout now. Shoulder check near side and taking the second exit like intended. One coming out from the left, not a problem. So there's lots of little tips and tricks. Really, advanced driving, or the IAM driving, really is just, it's a system. And there's just lots of little tips and tricks on top of that. It's just, well, probably a little bit more than that. It's a system. It's observation. It's training yourself to look for hazards and look ahead further than you probably would have been before. But, it depends on the driver. But certainly that's what it did for me. It made me look much further ahead. It made me think about what I'm doing. Made me concentrate a lot more. It's a really good thing to do. So it's basically what I was saying is the advanced, to pass your advanced driving test is not that difficult. It's just basically learn the system, learn to look ahead a little bit more, and then learn some tips and tricks and pass those on to other people. It's all about learning from each other, really. So just watching the one who's going to cross my path potentially here is fine. Shoulder check both sides. It's a good idea occasionally when you suspect it's, in a town environment like this, to check your blind spots. So let's talk about the system again that applies to these hazards. Mirror. I'm going to come up to a junction here. I'm going to turn left because we have to turn left. All traffic is barred from going ahead. Mirror. There's shoulder check near side because there's a cycle lane near side. I'm just seeing if there's any cyclists coming up. I'm going to try and keep the vehicle moving here, but I don't think I'll be able to. So what I'm going to do is put in the clutch and just a little bit of tactical coasting, and then stopping with sufficient distance from the one in front so that I can see some tarmac. If that means basically if he breaks down or if he rolls back a little bit, then I'll have a little bit of space to do something about it. If he breaks down, I can get around him. If he rolls back, I can sound the horn or whatever it is I need to do. The other thing that I don't know if you noticed I did there was I basically got it into I put the handbrake on when I come to complete stop. I put the handbrake on, still clutch down, still foot on the foot brake, handbrake down, and then put it into neutral, and then take my feet off the pedals, give my feet a rest. Because basically what you want to do is get the handbrake on first. That gets the car under control. So even if you're hitting behind, you're still got your brakes on, or at least your back brakes anyway. But but don't do it the other way. Basically, don't mess with the gear lever before you got the handbrake on. If you want to put it into first, that's fine, but still get the handbrake on first. So shoulder checking on your side. We've plenty of reflections here to look at, just to see if there's any, if we can see a little bit more than what the view, our direct view is affording us, but probably not too much at the moment. Okay, so just keeping it rolling. This is another thing, another goal really of driving the vehicle is to keep the vehicle rolling forward as much as possible. And the way to do that, and everyone in front in fairness is doing it to a certain extent, is even if the lights are red now, see ahead, the lights are red and the pedestrian is crossing there. I'm going to leave it in second, that's fine, but I'm just going to let the car crawl up. And by the time that the vehicles in front have stopped and started moving forward again, hopefully the lights will be green. And by the time I get there, I'll just be able to keep the vehicle rolling. And by doing that, we're saving some fuel, we're making the ride smoother, we're making it safer really, because we don't have to come to a complete stop and then, risk someone undertaking us or something like that. And then we're also just saving a little bit of wear and tear on the car really. Okay, so pedestrian lights are clear now. Junction left has got one coming towards us. She's looking right at me now. She doesn't have priority, and I don't intend to give it to her. Sometimes I might have done there. I might have just let her out, but I would have certainly not headlamp flashed or anything like that. I wouldn't ever recommend that you do that. Mirror. I'm going to keep it around to the left here. We're going to take the left exit here. Shoulder check, and just keeping it around to the left. So the position of the car, in my view, there was no one around really. The position of the car was enough to signal to the vehicles behind my intentions. There's only 2 lanes here, but again, if you wanted to signal, it wouldn't do any harm whatsoever. So I don't know if I'm getting across what the system's all about here really. Shoulder check both sides then to move off. Always shoulder check both sides to move off because it's just in case any motorcyclists, like I live in Oxford, so I'm paranoid about cyclists coming up on either side of me. They appear from nowhere. And I don't want to hit them. I don't want to knock them over. I don't want to crush them. So that'd be an absolute disaster if that happened. So I'm just going to look out for them. The one's just waving to me there. She's just going to join the traffic over there. And just welcome to the near side traffic. We're okay. Okay, at the next roundabout, my intention is to turn right. So there's a roundabout sign here. We will signal on approach. And shoulder check in position to the offside now, because there's 2 lanes ahead and I'm going to take the right lane. And then just coming off on the speed, we're in second, and that'll probably be okay to get around. Notice we won't need to change the gear again. Mirror, bring the speed off now, just finally, and then just taking it around, avoiding the roundabout, not crossing the roundabout, not crossing over the paint there. Because if we can avoid crossing the paint, we must, basically. That's the highway code in that one. Shoulder check near side away from oncomers. At the next roundabout, my intention is to take the first exit really, straight ahead. Mirror, we will signal actually. I'm going to signal left here, even though There is no really left, but it's just to reaffirm my intentions to traffic behind and to traffic that might be coming from the right. Getting the speed off now, plan stop, looking to go. There's no shadows of anything coming towards. One Mercedes there, he's fine, he's got plenty of space. I'm going to turn left here, mirror, signal. Position's really too tight here to worry about. Shoulder check near side then to turn around in case there's any cyclists and taking it in. Watching for parked vehicles on the other side. Just going to keep my speed to a reasonable level here. And at the bottom, where a car just appeared and went across, I'm going to turn right, mirror. Position really still away from the parked vehicles on the other side. Speed coming off now. Acceleration sense first, and then braking lightly. Nothing to behind, so I don't need to worry about the brake lights or not. We'll just use whatever we need to. Again, no need to signal currently. We will signal actually now that there's some traffic approaching us from the right. A very restricted view here to the left, so it's going to be last look left, because as I said earlier, you want to be just waiting for this traffic to clear from the right then. They're both turning, but I can't assume anything, so we'll just let them clear. That's fine. We're still nothing behind to worry about still. Now I'm going to start inching forward once this traffic clears us from the right, so we've nothing further from the right, so I can concentrate just on the left. There is one more. I'm just peeping around here. We're okay to go. Okay. So basically, what I'd suggest to you that the best way to practice the system is, first of all, learn the phases of the system off by heart. Just be able to recite information, position, speed, gear, acceleration. Just be able to recite that off by heart and understand what it means. So again, information is take, use, and give information. Take it in, use it in order to process the information, decide what you're going to do, potentially give out information if necessary, signalling, etc. Then position nice and early. You want to get your position in nice and early for the hazard. Now, sometimes you might have to be more flexible about the system, but generally, that's a good way to do it. And then speed next, and acceleration sense preferably if we can, like just coming up to these traffic lights, just very light braking, but try and keep your braking as light as possible, as early as possible. That's the speed. Then finally, just one gear change, maybe with a blip on the throttle like I showed you earlier with the rev matching method, and then finally just accelerate back on the drive around the hazard. And it was just and then now it's normally fairly light throttle setting to negotiate, most kind of junctions and roundabouts and that kind of, and even bends, it's still going to be a light throttle setting really. But I don't mean to be stamping on the gas and sort of, making the car skid around the hazard. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about acceleration, mild acceleration around the hazard, and then further acceleration away from the hazard, I guess, in the end. And then your system's over, and you can look. You should always. The other thing is that once you get better at it, you're not going to be fixated on the same hazard, on a single hazard. You're going to be planning for that main hazard that you might have to deal with, but also, as I said earlier, just looking for entrances, looking for other hazards as you approach, and modifying your plan accordingly. So it's a dynamic plan. It's not like a series of fixed plans that you do from one hazard to the next. It's dynamic depending on what comes into view, what happens as you approach.